Hey guys, how's it going? Back at it with another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my fit that I broke really bad on track a couple days ago. I don't have any parts to fix it yet, but I'm just going to film the whole process of what went wrong and how I'm going to fix it and what exactly happened.
My god, that was fucking close.
If you guys don't know, probably in the last video, I don't know when I'm going to post this, but the wheel hub in the front, at least I think, split in half on track at Pacific Raceways. Had to get the car towed home, end of the day early. Pretty shitty situation, but we got it all figured out now. So now we're going to dive into it and see what happened. Yeah, as you can see, there's no axle nut sticking through because that left the vehicle. The car is currently just like sitting right here. The caliper's just sitting on the wheel, so it's super slammed on this side. But yeah, I'm going to get this thing jacked up and see what's going on inside. So I got the car up in the air now. I'm going to take a look around, get the wheel off, and see what happened. As you can see, this wheel not even connected to anything, basically. It's just hanging on there by the brakes. Gonna go ahead and take that off and see what I find underneath. Here it is. Wow, this rotor is nasty. I think I'm changing these things. Rotor not connected to anything. I'm going to take it out right now. Just about. Only thing that was holding it on was the caliper. Caliper looks okay, brake line looks fine, but goddamn, axle's broke back in here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm not sure if anything else is damaged. I'm gonna have to take a little bit better look around. So I'm gonna get this caliper off and take a closer look at everything. So you can see the hub snapped off right where it meets the end of the axle, which is fucking insane. It chewed up the knuckle a little bit. I think it's gonna be usable still. I don't really want to or have a way to get a quick steering knuckle for one of these, but it got the inside of the brake caliper a little bit. I think that's still usable as well. Gotta try it. Pad's kind of messed up on the inside, but I don't see any damage on the back side of the hub. Axle done. Gonna try and get it out of there, but gonna pull this steering knuckle off the car next and see everything laid out. I'm gonna leave the axle in the transmission until I get a new one, probably in like a couple days, and then I'll take it out when it's time to reassemble everything, just because I don't want to have to spill transmission fluid all over the floor. I want to get everything a little bit farther apart, and I'll catch up to you guys once I do that. So here's everything out of the car, pulled everything apart. This is the only damage that I'm actually pretty worried about. We'll see if I'll be able to even get the wheel bearing out, be able to put one back in. Gonna give it a shot. I think I'm probably gonna start looking for a new knuckle. It's a little bit worse than I thought it was originally. Caliper bracket's pretty bad too, so probably should pick up one of those. But got the axle out. Thing's completely snapped off. That's where we're at as far as taking this thing apart goes. Gotta wait a couple days for some parts, and then I'll try and put it back together and see what happens. So I guess that begs the question, why did this happen? Definitely this happened because I didn't really prep the car a whole bunch when I started tracking it. This is all user error on my part. Normally, when I set up a track car, I go through the whole thing, and I basically replace every suspension component, just everything that's known to wear out, hubs being one of them. This car has been my daily for about a year and some change, and I got it with 196,000 miles on it. Now it has like 214,000. And I know for a fact those hubs and wheel bearings were definitely original, so that's definitely why it failed in combination with the stickier tire compound that I've been running. In the future, whenever I set up a track car, I'm going to be a lot more careful about that kind of stuff, because definitely could have been a lot worse than it was. Glad that nobody got hurt. I'm glad that I didn't get hurt. The car is mostly okay, and it's a pretty inexpensive minor deal to fix, so you live and you learn, I guess. But definitely make sure to check your hubs, your bearings on your track cars, so this doesn't happen to you. this is going to be about it for me taking the thing apart, so it's going to be a couple days before some stuff shows up and I'm going to start filming again, putting it back together. Alright guys, we're back with more Fit Carnage. I'm here at the shop after work. I'm going to be doing the wheel bearing and hub on the corner that came apart, and let me show you what I got. Huge shout out to Steven Dodson at Dodson Motorsport. Sent me this hub from a junkyard that he found on eBay and a brake caliper bracket. Honestly, huge help. A little low on cash right now, so I really appreciate it. Got a new hub with some ARPs and a new wheel bearing we're gonna throw in. If you look, this knuckle is damaged right here, and I really just didn't trust running it, so he reached out to me and asked if I needed any parts to finish the car up, and I told him, yeah, I do. I need a brake caliper bracket and a knuckle, and he was super happy to send those over. So really appreciate that, man. So, gonna get this guy all disassembled, and I'll go through the process of putting it all back together. So the first step to getting this guy apart is place the knuckle face down in the press. Hub sits right in the middle here, and you basically just blast it out of there. I'm not concerned with the dust shield at all. I'm gonna be getting rid of it because I'm probably gonna put some Mini Cooper rotors on this car in the near future. So the dust shield has to be removed for that anyways. So not worried about squishing it at all. Try not to press on these. You can bend them and then your brakes will drag because they'll be bent and the caliper will sit weird. So yeah, we're gonna flip it over next. And then the next step is to pull this C-clip out. So here's the knuckle with no C-clip or dust shield. I have it facing down in the press, and I'm just gonna press right in the center here until the bearing comes out. Here's the knuckle with everything removed. And here is the new wheel bearing. This bearing is directional. The ABS works off a magnet, so I labeled this side in. I just tested this side with a little screwdriver and it was able to pick it up on that side. It needs to face inward. Don't fuck this up. I fucked it up before. It sucks. So I'm gonna set the bearing in like this, and probably gonna use the old bearing to press it in. I have this cup that fits right around the back side of the knuckle. I'm gonna use that to support it. I'm gonna shove this guy in there. Wheel bearings all pressed in. Gonna put the snap ring in, then it's time to press the hub into the bearing. When you set a wheel bearing up in the press to install a hub, make sure you have something that goes over the top of the inner race so that it doesn't push it through the bearing. I have this same kit, little adapter with a cover on it. I'm gonna put the hub on top and then use probably a socket in the center of the hub to press it in. This makes it really easy because you know how far to go and it won't let you press it any farther than it needs to be. So you want a socket that'll sit right in the center piece of this hub, not touching the tapered areas because it'll get stuck. Then you basically just press straight down with everything supported and it'll go right together. And that's that. That's a completed wheel bearing install. Bearing feels great. Next thing is I gotta head home and throw it on the car. Alright guys, I just made it home. Got all my parts with me, and we're gonna get this car put back together. The lighting's probably not great, but I have the knuckle right there, new axle, some lug nuts from IPG Parts, a bottle of transmission fluid to top up the transmission, and a brake caliper bracket from the front. Thank you to Steven once again for helping me out with these parts. Really means a lot, man. Appreciate it. Let's start by getting the knuckle onto the car. Just started off with this lower ball joint, torqued it to 40 foot-pounds. Gonna do the same with the tie rod over here. But first I'm gonna slide the axle in so everything's all set up and ready to go. Just pop the axle in. I'm gonna kind of swing the hub out of the way and put the axle through it and then just hand thread the nut on. After that I'll do the tie rod and then I'll get the bolts up top. So I got the knuckle fully mounted up, got the tie rod on. Next step is I'm going to put the ABS sensor in. Really hope my ABS works. And then I'm gonna get the brake rotor on, brake caliper, and tighten everything up. The alignment's gonna be super jacked, but I'm gonna align it again tomorrow. So we'll be all good after that. I need to change the pads on the other side as well. So I'm gonna take care of that after I finish with this side. And there it is, all buttoned up. Put in a set of EBC greens I had laying around, some extra rotors. And next step is gonna be swap the brake pads on the other side, fill the transmission up, and then pop it on the ground and torque the axle nut. All right. Here she is back on the ground. Got the axle nut torqued down to 140 foot-pounds, same as the Civic. So I'm gonna pull this thing out and take it around the block. Well, I just took it around the block, and unfortunately the ABS light is on. So hopefully it's just a bad sensor or something, but I have a feeling that I may have put the wheel bearing in backwards. We will see. I'm really not sure. They weren't very clear on the wheel bearings, which way they went, so you live and you learn, I guess. Really not sure what's going on with that, but the car is drivable for now, which is great. That's my daily driver, so I need to be able to get to work in this thing. So that's all I'm asking for, is for a functional vehicle, and I have that now. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Steven, once again for the parts. Like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll be doing a little bit more exciting stuff in the next video, like alpha stuff or maybe some Civic motor build stuff. We're almost at 250 subs. We'll probably be past that by the time this video gets posted, but yeah, you guys are great, and I love the support. See you guys next time.